We had science evidence on both sides of the issue, and we had discussions about really the economics. I think that in terms of this bill, the economics are probably a more pertinent question because we're not talking about banning genetically engineered foods. We're talking about just the labeling requirement.
You know, as with many issues, you can find scientific studies on both sides of the argument to say it's safe or to say it's not safe. And I think a lot of consumers within a kind of the world of uncertainty would like to err on the side of caution.
The food safety issue is something that has been proven time and time again with lots of research from the United States Department of Agriculture, the Food and Drug Administration, and Environmental Protection Agency that our products of genetically engineered crops are safe.
GE as a crop has led to some unintended environmental consequences, and I think there are conscious environmental consumers who want to avoid being part of that food system. Some of those consequences are the introduction of resistant weeds.
The environmental impacts have increased because I've been using genetically engineered crops. I've been able to reduce the soil loss, reduce the nutrient loss, and improve the water quality in the streams that run through my farm.
More important for this as a consumer choice piece of legislation, we'll need to talk about the economics and about just the legitimacy of offering consumers an informed choice by labeling their food products.
Part of the economics of the situation for farmers is really about, and for processors, is about the cost within the system, the cost of maintaining GE pure or GE free seeds and feeds. Right now, farmers are bearing the cost of protecting their crops from contamination, or processors are bearing the cost. And I think more of the cost should be shifted to the patent holders who create these seeds rather than the farmers and the processors.
There's always going to be demand for food from the United States. I don't think we're going to be limited in our export capabilities.
Well, I think there's a lot of legitimacy in the argument that this ought to be done at the federal level, but that's not what we can control with the state legislature. We have to do what we think is best for our constituents, and if the federal government's not willing to act, then we ought to consider stepping into the void. I think the strongest case is that as a consumer, let me decide, and that's really what this legislation is all about, is giving consumers a choice.